You went with your dad, Michael. They do it's sort of a talk show?
It's sort of a talk show, but with him sort of heckling me from a chair. It's such hard work. The hardest thing about it is you come out and you do your jokes at the beginning, and you've got a lovely, smiling audience in front of you. I do my jokes, and he sits right next to the auto cue where you're reading it. So I do a joke, and I look over, and I see his face. That's the only time he's smiled in the last 60 years. Like, his natural face at rest, normally, is the face of a man whose bollocks have just hit a hot bath. Like, always. So every joke, I look over and it's...
Well, but you get on OK? Is the working experience OK? Because I imagine that would be tricky, because you're a professional comedian. He's a funny man, but he's not a professional.
No.
So how does that work?
Well, I mean, yeah, he's just a nightmare to work with. He's really hard. We do, like, script meetings and come up with ideas for the show. We were doing a writing session. This is genuinely true. We were doing a writing session the other day, and I had my laptop out, and we were going to do some research on the guests, and I told him to open a window, and he opened an actual window. I'm not making that up. He is that backwards. But he started getting into technology as well. It's amazing. He's, like, in his 70s, and all of a sudden, he started using emoticons the other day.
Now, these are the things on the phone, like emojis, they call them as well, don't they? Yeah, so it's like a smiley face.
Yeah, the little faces
or
that,
hands
like...
clapping.
Yeah, that, like, 13-year-old girls using their texts. Yeah, sorry, I don't text 13-year-old girls, no! Shut up! I was saying that to explain what they are. I just meant it's, like, it's not something that old men use. Stop making me... Shut up! So he uses these... Stop it. He uses these emoticons, but he doesn't know what any of them mean, so he just throws them in willy-nilly.
So give me an example.
The worst one ever. He sent me a text which should have been, like, a fine text to receive, but it was the most harrowing thing I've ever read, because it went, "Dear Jack, are you coming over for Sunday lunch? Your sister's going to be there. Winky face." What's in your plan?
So, you were at, and this is I would have thought quite a big thing, but you did the Royal Variety performance.
Yeah.
Just a couple of weeks back. And it's going out on TV in December. It hasn't been seen yet. Was this your first Royal Variety, or have you done one before?
It was my second Royal Variety. It was the first one with William and Kate.
You went to school with her.
Yeah.
And I believe you referred to this in the performance.
Yeah.
Now, what did you actually say?
I referred to her as the one that got away. And then I flirted a little, because I said that she was one of my first crushes at school.
And was she?
Yeah. And then in the line-up, William came over, and he was really funny, because he was very nice, but very passive-aggressive. Oh, you flirting with my missus? Oh, no, it was very, very funny. You did it, there. That's him going, yes, I can have you beheaded. I will. So that was quite... And I was also stood next to, you can't see her in that picture there, I was next to this lady called Demi Lovato.
She's a big singer in... She was in Frozen as well,
She was in Frozen, yeah.
Okay.
She was very nice, very sweet, but American, and didn't necessarily buy into my sense of humour. She was coming around, and everyone's very nervous when the royal family are coming around. She asked me what the protocol was with the royal bump.
Oh, yeah, because there's another baby.
Can we talk about, you know, the baby and stuff? And as a joke, I said, the Duchess of Cambridge, I think, would be offended if you didn't have a little feel. As a joke... She takes it completely at face value, and as Kate Middleton is coming along the line, I suddenly realise that we've got a situation here where either I need to step in and tell her and that it was a joke and look like a complete or potentially Demi Lovato from Frozen is about to get taken out by a police marksman. Sorry, Tom.
OK. So, you called her Kate. So you did know her at school, then? But she was older than you, wasn't she?
She was a lot older than me. Okay. She was a lot older than me.
But so you just admired her from afar?
She was in sixth form. It was never going to happen.
But were you...
I was in a head brace. It was...
Were you popular with the girls at school? Did you have a string of young friends? I didn't mean it that way. What I mean is, were you popular... Because often you mean... Because you're not a bad-looking guy now, OK? And you make the most of what you got. But I wonder... A lot of the time, comedians, you know, they have to use their sense of humour to get friends, and I wondered if you were one of them.
Yeah, I mean, I was, you know, always trying to be the clown, because I thought that would endear me to people, and it was my way of sort of making friends. But no, I wasn't... I moved around quite a lot of schools as well. My dad sent me off to boarding school.
Oh, that's
when I was, like,
Some people love
8.
that, though. Some guys I know who've been at boarding school, they turn out, and you think, you know, from some of my background, I think that seems like a very cruel thing to do to a child who's 6 or 7 or 8. But a lot of the guys I know who went to boarding school, they wound up loving it. So did you enjoy the experience?
Not when I was 8. No. When I was 8, I wanted to be at home with my mummy. Oh. But eventually it became fun, you know. But I don't know. No, I wish they had kept me at home for a little bit longer.
Because you have brothers...
Why did you send me away, Daddy?
Because you were the only child they sent away, weren't you?
No.
So Jack has also just finished a huge arena tour this year.
Yeah.
Is this your first tour on this scale?
Yes. Yeah.
So how did you find that with the big audiences?
Well, it's intimidating, and doing it in those big venues is certainly an undertaking. And so you look at other people that have done it. Like someone like Lee is a perfect example of who to look up to. Because look at, I mean, Lee is a legend, and you watch Lee. You watch Lee in those arenas, and he does shows that look like they deserve to be in a venue of that size.
Well, he knows how to work the stage, and he uses his body. It's physical, and it's all those things.
Yeah.
I was talking to Lee about he talks about his wife and his but you talk about your girlfriend Gemma in the act, who's also an actor, and she's very successful. Do you run the material past her first, or you just do it?
Well, sometimes. There's a couple of stories that, you know, sort of tales from the bedroom. That makes it sound so illustrious. It's not. It's smart. There's one story that happened to me, although Gemma always says that if I say it on stage, I have to say that it happened to a friend of mine. So, basically, a friend of mine was having sex with Gemma. And it's about my posh voice, how my posh voice is not good in the bedroom. Because I don't think this is a sexy voice, and I don't like talking in the bedroom. I think that sex should be a swift, silent and clinical procedure. No need to talk. And it was a moment of panic, and I was doing the deed, and I finished. And it was the least sexy thing that's ever been said in the bedroom. I finished, and I heard myself out loud going, oh, well, bravo.
That is the worst.
It's so, no.
That is the worst.
No, it's technically not the worst, because I told my mate, and he said he was drunk once, and as a joke, as he finished, he went, Dan on. It's made me worse.